Kaizer Chiefs play Milford FC in the last 32 of the Nedbank Cup. And after that disappointing match against Royal AM, where we missed a few chances but our overall game was just horrible, Kevin Johnson is faced with the decision of who is he going to start? Is he going to keep the players that he had? And why is he going to change the players that he's going to change? Well, let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. Now, we know that there are things that he will definitely not be changing, and one of them being the goalkeeper in Mfundo. Or will he? Because this presents an opportunity for him to play Brendan Peterson, who is clearly sort of still in the long-term plans of Kaizer Chiefs because they are keeping him. So these cup games might be that opportunity for Brendan Peterson to come back and regain his confidence. Am I saying he's going to start? No, because I think that the goalkeeper should stay there because they are still trying to build chemistry of playing together. So I do think that Mfundo will be retained or will retain that centre-back spot. That goalkeeper spot. So when you go to the right back, that's one of the positions that I always moan about, but I'm not going to moan about it today. I'm just going to say Frosler is going to play once again. Because if Solomons had any chance of playing, he would have been in the reserves against Royal AM, but he wasn't even on the reserves bench. So it's clear to me that he doesn't seem like he's in the coach's plans. We can say the same thing with the left back position. Usfiso Hlanti will still start the game as he's been doing. And centre-back pairing, Msimango and Unjabulo Ngobo will play. The changes will start when we come to midfield. And there's a good reason why there will be changes. Because, yes, there are talks of, oh no, Kaizer Chiefs did not create enough. But there are also other people, because now, Chiefs, as a fan base, there are now people who are pro-mat, there are people who are against mat. But then there are people like me who are in the middle who are saying, yeah, he can play, but not the entire 90 minutes every other game. That's my thing, because some people honestly think Yusuf Mat is the weakest link at Kaizer Chiefs. I don't believe that. I just think that he's so unfortunate that the midfield is not functional, and then people just look at him and say he's the weakest link. For example, in the game here, Royal AM, the Castillo was not playing well either. You looked at Nkosi Ngobo, he wasn't playing well either. But guess who took the blame? It was Yusuf Mat. So I do think that he is in that unfortunate situation whereby people are just targeting him. But what makes people target him, unfortunately, is the fact that Nkosi Ngobo gets taken off if he's not performing or if he's tired. Same thing with Castillo, same thing with Umteto. But Umart, whether he's tired, whether he's effective, whether he's what, he always plays. And because of that, that has created this thing of fans saying, Vele, he's the common factor. He's the one who's always there whenever we're playing bad. Digant is also the one who's always there when we're playing good, but people don't look at that. Anyways, I do think that Umart will still retain his place, but I think that the person who will sit on the bench for this game will be Castillo, because I think Usbong Mtetwa will come back and play as a 6, and in front of him it would be Yusuf Mat, which would lead us to this situation, which I think Kaizer Chiefs have been kind of hinting towards. Because if you notice in the last game, they know what gets us excited as fans a lot, and that is the introduction of Mfundo Vilakazi. And yes, I know what I've said about him. I think that he shouldn't be starting games because I feel like there would be too much pressure for him. Like you take a 17-year-old and you are starting him in big games. Well, this is not a big game, but it's a very important game because we don't win, then we're out of it the last cup of the season. However, him being promoted, him having played in that Carling knockout All-Stars match, and him being trusted now to be in the senior team, I do think that he might be given some minutes. Although there's that situation of why did they not play him against Royal AM then in preparations for this game? But I do think that since Milford, as I've counted, every other player who's starting so far has been a regular starter for Chiefs. So I think that tweaking just one thing and playing Mfundo Vilakazi as a 10 is not really going to do so cause so much damage, right? Because Khosi was not effective at all in the previous game. So if they don't surprise us with Mfundo Vilakazi, then Mshini will keep his position as a 10. Which takes us to our forwards. I was disappointed to not see Uranga in the Royal AM game, especially because maybe if you had this, I did not see anyone saying that, hey, Ranga is injured, that's why he was not available, which means he was just outright dropped, right? I don't understand that. Which makes me say then, if they saw that the whole situation that happened last week wasn't working for Chiefs, because Modi is a very good player, but still, even he wasn't effective at all in that game against Royal AM. And I think that we went for pace, we went for speed against Royal AM, and to a certain point, we tried to, and we created some opportunities, but the ball was just 220 kilometers per hour for my liking. And because of that, if we're just kicking the ball, we likely, or most of the times, we lose the ball. And you do not want to do that against a small team that is playing in a division lower than yours. Because what tends to happen is that they then get one chance and they're effective in the chance, and then they defend the whole game. So seeing that Milford are likely, if they have respect for Chiefs, are likely going to sit back and defend. Né? And then the Chiefs will not be needing to have quick players, because fast players who can run 880 kilometers per hour will help when you're playing against Pirates and Sundowns in this league, because those are the teams that will try to squeeze you up. I know there's more teams that now play highline in the PSL, but I'm using those two because they are big teams and they like, we're not going to sit here and respect Chiefs. So I think that playing against a smaller team, that's the team that's going to actually be the ones sitting deep and being ready to counter and catch us counter attacks. So with those facts, then that says to me, Utupri cannot start as a 9, but he can start as a right winger, and Usaele will bench. And then as another winger, then that's where you bring back Upule Modi as well and play him as a left winger. Now, I heard some people saying that Gonzalez scored in one of the friendlies that Chiefs played. I didn't even know that Chiefs played a friendly, but apparently they did. In which case, good for him then. So if Gonzalez is the one who actually got a goal and was the one who was available for selection last week, then to me, then makes sense that he starts tomorrow's game, because Vele Chiefs is going to still ask the number 9. That's why they played Dupri in the previous game as a 9, because they still want the 9 who drops into midfield, overloads the midfield and all of that stuff. So I do think that Gonzalez, when it comes to his mobility is better than Lega Ranga. But I would have loved to see Ranga, because right now we are just not even putting him in a match day squad. If you know why he was not on the match day squad, then let me know. But I would be interested to one also just see Umtutuzi Shabalala being given some minutes, because obviously the team did not play so well in the previous game, and since we did not play so well in the previous game, the coach might want to bring out the very same squad as last week, né? And the reason why he might want to do that is to say to these guys, you messed up last week, now it's time to make it right. That is if he actually gave them the right tactics and they failed to implement them. And now he's saying, this is a Nedbank Cup, this is a cup game against a small team. What you have to do now is to go out there and make a statement. Just whoop them 5, 6, 7-0, and then that will give you a lot of confidence. Then going forward, you will say, we beat those guys. And then when we play Swallows, is it Swallows? Yeah, it's Swallows in our next home game, if not Arrows, then you are confident enough. So we will see Ugutu Johnson, uzokwenza njani. Give me your own starting 11 down on the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, equals, I'll pay you more.